children. From the very beginning, it was the children who gave me my power. The Springwood Slasher, that's what they called me.
Wizard, Harry.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll be back.
Death has come to your little town, Jim.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Chills and Thrills. Connor here along with Adrian and Drew, and we are doing a Nightmare on Elm Street ranking episode. We are going to rank the entire franchise from our least favorite to our favorite, from number 9 to number 1. Give you some, some things we liked about each film, some things we probably didn't like, and we're not gonna hate on our lower ones too much. At least I might not. The other two, I'm not so sure. But it'll be a fun little episode to run through these 9 and see where we stand. So, who would like to go first? Would you guys like me to lead, or would you like one of you to lead?
It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I can go ahead and go if you want.
Well,
I'm
you
totally
go ahead
okay with
because
it.
I'm curious to what your least favorite is anyway.
Okay, let's see. My number 9 is going to be part 2, Freddy's Revenge. That's just it's okay. For one, it's the only film not ran with a female role.
Uh-huh.
So, you don't get your Sigourney Weavers or your Sarah Connors and your strong female leads. In this one, you get some snivelly little kid who, he did good for the role, I suppose. I mean, that was written for him, but it just was not. His acting was bad. The what they tried to do with it, Wes Craven's wasn't having anything really to do with this film, and it shows. That's my number 9, and now him becoming Freddy Krueger was just like what, like and then people being able to kind of see him at the pool, even though he wasn't in the real world yet, I guess, and he was flashing in and out of the real world and in the
Yeah.
dream world. It just made no sense. Sorry, it just made he was turning into Freddy. Like, why? Like, how's that even? It wasn't even terrifying. It was just like basic playbook when it came to it all.
I feel like the premise is good, but they did not pull it off like even remotely well. They should have done something more along the lines of Freddy's taking him over
Mhm.
and he's scared or whatever, and I don't know, just I guess kind of close to what they did, but just better.
Yeah,
You know what? Give me a camera. Drew will dress you up, and we're gonna do this better.
yeah, exactly. Um,
Okay.
it just again because you could tell that Wes Craven really had no input on this movie. It showed. It just showed. That's my second the Revenge just didn't make no sense to me to be part of this series. I think they were trying. It did make money though. I mean, if you look at it, it actually
Oh, yeah.
made some money.
Oh, yeah,
It
it made
actually
good
kept.
money.
New Line. The first one saved it. New Line. But the second one kind of put more money in their pockets.
And that's why they went with the third one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me go with let's see. What do you want? You want Connor? Connor, you want to go second, or you want me to go?
I'll take it. We'll save the best for last. No.
You
So
suck
in
up.
my number 9 spot, I have Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, and I didn't like this film as a kid because of how cheesy and over the top it was. And as I've gotten older, nothing has changed. I mean, some of the kills are inventive. Adrian and I stated that in the episode for this film. Like, the kills were inventive, and you get the most Freddy screen time out of the entire franchise. He's on screen for like a total of like 15 minutes in the film, but it can't save it because there's it's just this weird storyline where now Freddy has a kid, and there's no teenagers or kids at all in the town of Springwood, and it's just this like completely off the wall film that in the for like the trailers and everything like that, it says, they saved the best for last. When really, in my opinion, and a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street fans' opinions, this is the worst in the franchise. So my number 9 spot goes to Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare.
Uh, all right, that would be my turn next. I'm gonna agree because you have something to say, but I'm gonna let you know you do have a chance right now because I'm gonna agree with that because Freddy's Dead was just horrible, and I did not enjoy the film at all. The fact that was the first movie, um, yeah, I believe it was. It was the first movie where they didn't have the little girls doing the jump rope and singing the classic song.
Yeah.
Instead, they just show it like randomly as they're walking around. I was like, "Oh, man, how that's the biggest trope for for a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and they done away with it. Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
How dare who do you think you are?"
I'll probably say that's, and to be honest with you, that's probably my number 2 for
We'll
worst.
get we'll get
Yeah,
into your
yeah.
number 8.
Well, no, I was just saying, I think, yeah, I can see where you guys are coming from, but again, just the plot in part 2 just ruined it for me.
Mm. Alright, Drew, what's your number 8?
That would be it.
Oh, the Freddy's
Yeah,
Dead?
Freddy's Dead. I mean, I liked, yeah, there
If
was
you had
parts
to
of it
think,
that I enjoyed, but it didn't feel
Didn't feel like it.
it didn't feel like it, but even, like, with New Nightmare, it just was like, that really didn't feel like it with Freddy, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'll go with 8. I'll go with 8.
all right, so that puts me in my number 8 spot. Your number 8 was our number 9 for Freddy's Dead.
Okay.
So my number 8 is your number 9, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. And I like the casting in this. I like Jesse, I like Grady, I like Lisa. But again, like you said, it's like all like the undertones and like the subtext that you learn about later on kind of like killed this movie for me a little bit. And I still have fun because Freddy's still kind of like dark and menacing in this film. Like it's his highest, we get his highest kill count out of the franchise in this with 10. And it's I don't know, it's like they tried to make a love story out of Freddy Krueger with Freddy taking over Jesse's body and like Jesse having to fight back to save Lisa. Like you said, it's one of those films that it kind of went off the rails a little bit, but I don't think it went as far as Freddy's Dead, but still it went off the rails quite a bit. So that went into my number 8 spot.
Mm,
Okay.
I'm right there with you. The second one was my number 8 as well 'cause, yeah, it was good concept, bad execution. And that's just that's all I could really say is just
That's the gist
the
of it.
acting sucked. Yeah, the acting sucked. The 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 directing on it, I mean, the directing was pretty good, but man, that how can you do that? Like, whole love story, and then he comes back because she tells him that, she loves her. Mind you, didn't they only know each other for, like, a week?
Yeah.
Like, I've had some fast relationships, but
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Or what's your number 7?
Hmm. I'm gonna have to say probably, I think The Dream Child, my number 7.
Dream Child?
Yeah. It just that one, it had Freddy in it, but it was like, because it directly affected, like, a baby in a womb,
Yeah.
kind of just really, just it kind of made it a little bit darker. You know what I mean? I know he's a child predator and a child killer, and that's his shtick, but it just really kind of made it real dark. Where I was just kind of like, and it wasn't entertaining. It didn't feel a lot like a Freddy movie in a way. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like it was a metaphoric movie in a sense, you know? Like
Ah.
like a metaphor for, a pregnant woman worrying about, stresses of what could happen, gonna have a child, you've got monsters in the world that are trying to take your children away from you in one shape or form, could be a metaphor towards diseases or things like that, but it was like Chucky or I mean Chuck Freddy was more like a metaphor in this movie in a way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I
I
can
guess,
see
I
that. He
guess
was a literal tumor.
yeah, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for number 7. But I mean, the motorcycle scene,
Oh, that was great.
that was
That's one of
such
my
a good scene, and that was filmed so well.
yeah, that was my all-time favorite death,
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Not mine. Mine was kinda corny, but we'll get into that. But my
alright.
my my favorite death was, very corny, but still my favorite death to this day.
Alright, we'll talk about that.
Goes along with my favorite quote too.
Okay, alright, we'll get you. I see you. I
Alright.
see you there.
So that's my
That
number
was
7. I'm gonna say, the, Dream Child.
So instead of the metaphor for the gayness,
Yeah.
it's the metaphor for for a parent.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
basically.
gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. Alright.
something like that.
that was a good little deep pull. The metaphor for the predators trying to take away your child and
Mhm,
things like that. I
mhm.
like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Because we agree on number 7 here, Drew. With I chose part 5, the Dream Child, as well, and like you said, is like there were some great things about it. And on our rewatch for our episode, I was dreading rewatching it because I was just like, man, I don't remember liking this film very much over the last couple years. When I was little, sure, but as I grew up to be a teenager and early 20s, I never watched part 5. And I had some fun with it on our rewatch for our episode. We talked about it. Adrian and I had pretty good conversation about it. Like the motorcycle kill, awesome. The comic
yeah.
book kill, awesome. Like
Yes.
there were some good things about it. I love the continuing story with Alice and Dan because I loved Alice in the 4th film, and we'll get into that. But like bringing her back and continuing her story in this, but it just another film that kind of goes off the rails with like all the pregnancy stuff and the Freddy trying to take over the baby's dreams. And I get it. A lot of fans complain like, oh, like, wash, rinse, repeat with some of these horror franchises.
Mhm.
But then you get something like Freddy's Dead Part 2 and Part 5 in this franchise that go a
Mhm.
little bit off the rails and people don't like them. And I'm
Yeah.
in one of those. I'm in that camp where I'm like, I'm mixed on them. Like I don't hate Part 2 and Part 5. Freddy's Dead. I'm pretty harsh on, but
Yeah,
Part
yeah.
2 and Part
Well
5, it's like a 60-40 battle. I like 60% of the film, but I agree with you that it's in my 7 spot as well.
mhm. And I think a lot of this is one of the only films where the character of Freddy didn't carry the movie. Like, she carried the movie. The main, heroine of the film carried the movie. Um, and I'm not saying I really like her character because her character carried over for what, 3 films? Or
Part
Yes.
4 and
3 films
5.
from since Warriors, right? Warriors, Dream Master, and then Dream Child, right?
I
Or
think
was
Alice was just in 4 and 5, Dream Master
4 and
and,
That's right.
Dream
Okay.
Child.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, her character, I liked her better in funny enough, I liked her better in, Dream Child than I did Dream Master, and I think she carried the film in Dream Child, but, I'm gonna let Adrian talk before I tell my number 6.
Mhm. Oh, you remembered me. Good,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, my number 7 is throwing both of y'all off. Are y'all ready for this? Dream Child as well. We're in a three-way tie for this one. Also did not I didn't hate it, I just didn't care for it as much as the other ones. Now, it had some things that I absolutely loved. Um, the kid from Jurassic Park,
Mhm.
he played in this movie.
Yep.
Um, let's go with my favorite one of my favorite deaths, the motorcycle. That's fantastic. And one thing I didn't mention for Freddy's Dead is I'm gonna mention a positive thing is Yaphet Kotto.
Mhm.
He played in the original Alien movie. We talked about that,
Mhm.
and he absolutely standout role in Freddy's Dead. And as far as Dream Child goes, there was definitely some good parts, and it had a lot more good parts
Yeah.
than uh, than my number 8 and 9 spots.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed this movie. It was darker. You see a younger Roseanne Barr in it, which I had to watch this movie twice to realize that was her.
And Tom Arnold.
And Tom Arnold. Yep.
They both were in this film.
Yes, they were. Um, and it's just it's so some good things in this movie, and some things that whenever you look at it, and especially behind the scenes, you're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's sitting, at my number 7 as well.
Alright.
What's your 6, Drew?
My 6 is probably gonna be, um, my 6, I'm probably gonna have to say Dream Master.
Dream Master.
Yeah. It was good. It was better than, you know, The Dream Child. I just again, it just didn't feel like it felt like they tried to stray too much away from regular Freddy on this one, and
Hmm,
that's why it didn't do it for me. I'm gonna have to say 6 is gonna be that one. Um, again, it just goes, you know, a lot more into his mom and, a little bit backstory with there, and it's like it's like them trying to insert more to get better sales, you know?
okay, I can see it, yeah, just
Yeah.
diving deeper into the
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah, I gotta say Dream Master's probably number 6 for me.
Okay, Connor?
All right, well, here's where I'm gonna throw you guys way for a loop, and I don't think you're ready for it. Because in my number
I'm
6 spot,
ready.
I have Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
What?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
How dare you? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and step off this mic now.
All right, hear me out. Let me explain.
Alright, I'm ready.
So when I go to my movie shelf or Vudu with all like my digital movies, whatever, when I go to look up and watch a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, I'm picking the original. I'm picking Dream Warriors. I'm picking Dream Master. And like I'm not going back to watch Freddy versus Jason unless I'm with like friends or a crowd, a bunch of friends, and we're having like a drinking and game night. We'll throw that on in the background for some fun. Like it's a great movie in itself, and it brings the two characters that we've been wanting to see battle one on one in an awesome way. But it doesn't do justice to each individual storyline for Jason or Freddy. Like I get it has winks and nods to Freddy's like origins and like why he became Freddy and how he became Freddy and things like that. But it's not completely like true to itself in a way. So,
Mhm.
like, there's other films in the franchise that are better films and have, clearly, like, this is like I said, this is the Freddy vs. Jason, so we get, like, awesome fight scenes, but, like, the characters really hold it back for me. A lot of the score is kinda bland besides some of the ones we mentioned on our episode for that, and then, like, it's just, like, Ken Kersinger, like, holds it back for me, like, for the Jason side. Robert Englund is always gonna be great for Freddy, but I enjoy I kinda base my rankings off of how often I watch something and how much I enjoy it when I go back and rewatch it. So, like, the films that are above Freddy vs. Jason, I rewatch more and I just enjoy them more, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. So, Freddy vs. Jason is in my 6th spot.
Okay. I can hearing what you're saying, I still think you're crazy. but I respect it. My sixth spot is I'm siding with Drew on this one. A Dream Master. Uh, I just you know it's not one of the ones that I will actively pop on to watch. Now, whenever we start entering, the 5 and above, or 5 and below movies on these, as my ranking, these are movies that I will go to the shelf and I will pick out to watch. Um, Anything above it, I won't. So, Dream Master, I don't, I just won't. I don't know why. It
Yeah.
just doesn't do it for me as a nightmare film. I think the final fight is pretty good. I find it to be very corny,
Yeah.
though, but I do like the final fight, but, I just
It just think about it this way. You can take 6 and 7 out of the entire series,
done.
throw them away,
Mhm.
and then still make chronological order with the rest of the films and not miss a beat with those 2 removed.
Yeah.
Those 2, it's almost like they could be their own series, kind of like made into a television series, where the child gets pregnant, ends up, him end up using the body to resurrect and all this other stuff. I feel like they could have took those 2 films and made a TV series out of it, kinda like they're doing with, like, Welcome to Derry, where they're
Yeah.
they're pulling some different history from it
Mhm.
and then just making a miniseries out of it. I honestly believe they could have made those 2 films in a miniseries and not messed up the chronological or any kind of order in these films.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
There is a very, controversial film in this franchise that none of us has said yet, so I'm wondering who is going to be the first.
It's not gonna be me. I know which one you're talking about, but it's not gonna be me. My number 5 is actually Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
So, but it's almost a tie with 2010s. I mean, to be honest with you, it's one of those things where, like you said, I go to the shelf and I might pick those 2 movies. Like, I like watching the Freddy one. It's just really hard to get past the pedo side of it
Yeah.
of that film. But I can a lot of times I can just get past that part and just watch the film, and it's one of those films, if I get bored, I'll put it on, and that's how I rate movies. There's movies out there that I could put on and I could watch 5,000 times. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Mummy, and I
Mhm.
could watch that movie over and over and over and over again. And I think Freddy versus Jason has that playability in the long run, for me at least. I know, Connor, you said different, but for me, it's just one of those ones I could put on. Like I saw that one maybe 2 months ago, watched it again today, and Freddy versus Jason. I was like, oh, cool. You know, didn't learn anything new. Didn't plan on learning anything new, but it's something that I can put in the background. And if I have to go to the restroom, I don't have to hit pause because I know what's going to happen.
Okay. Connor, your rebuttal?
All I got to say to, it be coming after you, Adrian, is see, I wasn't far off. I got it at 6, he's got it at 5.
Uh, okay, so that was what was your number?
5.
5? Yeah. Alright. So, my 5 is the 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, not very far off. I thought, Jackie did a wonderful job playing, Freddy. I did like, um, I it's if you take the previous films out of the equation and you watch this as a brand new show, a brand new movie, you have no knowledge of Robert Englund, he delivers a great Freddy.
Yeah.
But I mean, Robert Englund is the godfather
Yeah,
of
he's like
horror.
that. He's like the Freddy for the boomers, and
Yeah.
Jackie Earle Hurley is the Freddy for the millennials.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
But he just his delivery, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop, uh, comparing him to Robert Englund's delivery. Because Robert Englund's delivery, fast, bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, and his whenever he spoke and he spoke in sentences, his sentences were they were like a machine gun, just fired quick from the hip.
Mhm.
And then you get to Jackie's, and then his is like, "Oh, what do you know?" And that I took that as two things. I took it as either they tried to make him darker,
Oh yeah.
or if you took a deep dive, I was thinking more along the lines of he was uh, a guy that was in a fire and he's got throat damage, and so I
Yeah.
kind of took
No,
that
I
as
get
well.
that. Yeah, I get that.
And so I did enjoy his film, and if I can take Robert Englund out of my mind,
Mhm.
and I could sit down and I can actually enjoy this film for what it was,
Yeah.
and I'm missing out on the biggest part of this. It has Katie Cassidy in it.
True. True. You know, and I think with the 2010, Freddy was just Robert Englund's Freddy was just innately evil, just pure evil,
Mhm.
and was laughing about it. Jackie Earl Haley's Freddy was more like the tortured demon, you know, I mean, he's gross human, all this other stuff, but more like the tortured, like he did it because he had to,
Mhm.
where Robert Englund's Freddy was more like, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, and be the most evil way of having fun. Where Jackie Earl Haley was just kind of like, let's just murder a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know, like he was almost more of a slasher in Jackie Earl Haley's Freddy version than Robert Englund was.
Okay.
Robert Englund liked to torture, you know, his Freddy liked to torture
Yeah.
his victims. He liked to play games with the victim. Jackie Earl Haley was just going in there and killing them as fast as possible. you
Yeah.
know?
You
Well,
wanna be
Adrian,
gruesome.
I agree with you because the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street was in my 5 spot as well.
Nice.
So,
We did
I
skip over you. I thought so.
that is okay. We
Yeah.
can always come back.
Yeah.
But it's I liked it. I like I said, I was very high on it in the theaters. Like you guys both said, like I liked Jackie Earl Haley and then, Katie Cassidy, like of course she's gorgeous. Always nice to have, some pretty ladies on the screen while you're watching. One of the
Mm.
downfalls for this film is I mentioned in our episode for that is I think they killed her off way too soon. I think she should have been our final girl because Rooney
Agreed.
Mara just she looked uninterested during half the movie. A lot of her lines
Uh-huh.
were flat, and I think Katie Cassidy as a final girl in A Nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street, if they would have did that, she would have knocked it out of the park.
Rooney Mara is not a final girl.
No,
She's
she's
not.
not.
Her sister probably could have been the way her sister is and her personality.
Kate?
Yeah,
Kate
the one
Mara?
from Shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, her Kate Mara. Like I feel like her personality could be a final girl personality. But like y'all were saying, Rooney Mara was just she was like a wounded animal the whole entire film, and it was like she didn't even get wounded, but she was acting like a wounded animal. Like, and then you get Nancy, who is just a beast. You know what I mean from the get go. Like she
Mhm.
don't play no game.
Mm-mm.
She's a final girl. You know what I
Get
mean?
it, girl.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, final girl. Those are the personalities of final girl. Rooney Mara did not have.
No, she,
But that cafe scene was great
oh, yeah.
with
We
where they
talked
killed
about
her
that.
boyfriend.
Oh,
That just was the
great.
way they just flashing back and forth, and then you get to see the gore.
Mhm.
And, granted, 2010, you had a lot more better special effects than even, Freddy versus Jason, so they were able to do a lot more with it. But I feel like that's the Freddy I would want to see in the future, but I guess Jackie said that and when you said that you had a problem seeing him and Robert Englund. I had a problem seeing Jackie Earl Haley with as Rorschach
Yeah, Rorschach.
or Rorschach. Yeah, I had a problem because they're almost the same person,
They were.
except for Rorschach is a anti-hero
Yeah.
more or less, but they were both. I mean, throwing a tray of hot
Yeah, oh, the
frying
grease.
grease on a guy. Come on now.
That was
But
great. Oh, it
but
was such a
that I
great
had
scene.
Yeah, but I don't think I can't imagine anybody that now actually, I take that back. The guy on Stranger Things that plays Vecna
Mhm.
could play Freddy Krueger.
Just because they put him in the makeup does not mean that he could do it.
I know, but just the way he does it is just it's kind of a mix between the 2 characters, I think.
Okay, I can see that.
I could see that. I think that'd be good. Or even, Skarsgård, the one that plays, Pennywise,
Yeah,
I
Jeff
could see
Mills.
him doing that too. I think
But
he'd
he
be
was
good
he
at it.
was a baby. Oh, no, never mind. He was still pretty young in
I'm
this
saying
film.
if they
Yeah.
redid it today,
Oh, if they redid it
Yeah.
today? Oh, yeah, throw Skarsgård at it. Oh,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm. He's just phenomenal.
Yeah. first.
Dairy. Holy crap!
Oh, dude, and it's the first time you see him. Oh, that was great. Okay.
Yeah,
Off topic.
we digress.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
so
digress.
my number 4 is gonna actually be, the one we've been talking about, 2010, and I don't think we need to get any more into it. We pretty much kind of got that one down. So
Yeah.
that would be my number 4.
All right, Connor, your rebuttal.
So my number 4 happens to be part 4, The Dream Master. Like I said, this was one of my favorites when I was a kid, and to this day, it's still pretty high up on my list. Clearly, I like the addition of Alice and Dan and some of the other characters. I like that we get like Kincaid and Joey and Kristen back, like the Dream Warriors from
Yeah.
part 3, and it's just it's an awesome continuation and then to pull in Alice as our new character and like we talked about this in our episode with this again, like how she's got like the abusive alcoholic father, and then like she's kind of like this like hidden away girl who like has this awesome like transformation into this badass and who fights and goes after Freddy. Like I just think they call this like the MTV or like the Hollywood Freddy Krueger. You know, you got him putting the sunglasses on and you got him cracking jokes more than he usually does. And this is I don't know, this film to me is just one of those ones I can put on and all the time and continue to watch and have a good time with it because of the characters, and then of course Robert Englund knocking it out of the park as Freddy in this one. So my number 4 is part 4, The Dream Master.
Okay.
Okay, I could definitely see that. Um, my number 4 is gonna throw you off for a loop. A New Nightmare.
Hmm.
I'm putting that one on.
I'm sure that's the one you were talking about, right, Connor?
Which one?
He was
What?
saying that none of us has said this one yet.
Oh. Oh, yeah, he did say maybe.
No, I was thinking about the 2010 when I said the
Okay.
controversial
Okay.
one.
Oh, no, that
Usually
one we're pretty much in agreeance with that one.
when I see the 2010 film on rankings or anything like that, it's either number 8 or 9. Like, that film is not
Oh.
liked across the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise fans, like,
It's
so
probably because Rooney Mara. I mean, let's be perfectly now. When she was in the girl with the dragon tattoo,
Oh, she was phenomenal.
she's phenomenal in that one, and she could be a final girl in that as that role. But that's not what we get here.
No, this is not. If you switch her and Katie Cassidy as the lead role, just don't even switch the characters. Switch the characters. Where Katie Cassidy is main role, and she would absolutely dominate. That would be a great film to watch. I get more Katie Cassidy. The world gets a better acting, and we're all in the win. And this movie would be on everybody's like top 5 of the Freddy movies.
You know what I think it was though.
Hmm.
Her hair color. Hate to say it like that, but the fact is Katie Cassidy. She was playing the Tina Gray character from the original. Because she was Tina Gray. Her boyfriend was well, in this one it was the football player. This one was the football player, but I think what it was is because they wanted to remake the original and kind of have, but they just picked the wrong Nancy. They just picked the wrong Nancy straight up, you know. Every other character in that role in that film would have been great, but like you said, Katie Cassidy as Nancy would have been way better.
Mm.
But
Yep.
I think it's just because she was,
She was a blonde.
she was blonde, trying to fit the Tina Gray role, and she just, I don't know, because I think Katie Cassidy was on Supernatural at the time during this film. I want to say
2010.
think-
No, she would already been done because that season would have been.
it was Arrow then, right? Because then
Yeah, she would have been an Arrow. She would have been an Arrow in that time.
Yeah, shout out to her famous father.
Mm-hmm.
Partridge Family royalty.
How it goes.
I think if
So
she would have been
yours was your number 4. Connor was what now?
my number 4 was The Dream Master.
That's right. Dream Master. Okay. All right. So my number 3 is going to be New Nightmare. Now, I actually enjoyed this movie, and a lot of people didn't, and because a lot of people are like, "Oh, it wasn't like a true Freddy Krueger movie," but I don't believe he looked any more menacing than in this movie. In any movie he has done, I think he was big and bulky, and, I'm sure that was, like, a lot of makeup because Robert Englund is not a big guy per se.
Oh, no, it was a different actor.
Yeah, that's
Or
right, that's
oh,
right.
no, wait, wait, wait.
But
Oh,
it
I'm
was his
sorry.
face.
Sorry, no, never mind. No, it was him. It was him.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was thinking of Super Freddy
Oh,
for some
yeah.
reason.
But the New Nightmare, I liked it because then Wes Craven had something to do with this film, like, a lot to do with this film. I mean, it was basically like his whole process of creating a new Freddy Krueger movie, but he was breaking the fourth wall and essentially saying that Freddy is more than just what he is in the movie. He's an actual, like, demon, and it you learned because of the 3 worms or whatever that controls Freddy, the 3
Mhm.
demons, um, you kinda learn that he was more than just, it was just a body that he was taking and a personality where maybe Freddy wasn't actually Fred Krueger, but was a demon the whole entire time that just killed kids. Like, it made you question what Freddy was all about at that point, and then
Wait,
just
wasn't that Freddy's dead?
well, no, see, Freddy's Dead was with his daughter, the
Yes.
grown-up.
Yeah, and that's where
But this was with Lanky and her son. New Nightmare was
Oh.
Lanky and her son, and they were in the real world.
Oh, the 3 worms.
Yeah,
Got it.
and she was actually Heather Langenkamp
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
film.
Yeah, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
I was thinking you had me off put by the 3
It
worms
does get
inside of it.
confusing, yeah, but no, I'm just saying that's what Freddy really is.
Oh, got
Not
it, got
not
it, got it.
actual Fred Krueger, but
But
just those
the
demons.
yeah, the entity,
Right.
and that's how he could come over
Yes,
into the real world.
correct.
Okay.
But I'd have to say New Nightmare, I mean, it's not even in the top, it's not my 4th, so in my top 3 are the ones that I really, really enjoyed, and that New Nightmare was just it made it more terrifying because it was, like, brought into the real world rather than being on the movie screen in a sense.
Meta.
Yeah, yeah, meta.
Meta. Which we talked about it in the episode where we talked about A New Nightmare
Mhm.
was yeah, everybody gives credit for Scream, and they say that Scream was the original meta horror movie,
Mhm.
but no, that's actually incorrect. It was New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Came out, I think, what, like 2 years before Scream did?
Yep, yep, and it was just like I said, it was shown as a fourth wall type Freddy Krueger movie, which
Yeah.
and again, he looked more menacing in this movie than
Oh, yeah.
any other movie he's ever done.
This one, it was just
With the
that
trench
was
coat and everything, you were just like,
they crushed
"Dang."
it.
Yeah.
They crushed it, and Robert Englund says that was his favorite Freddy,
Mhm.
favorite Freddy design.
I mean, he was just a giant in this film, it's just terrifying.
So you
I
are
100% agree with you guys, and I know, Adrian, you said that was your number 4, right? Was Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
yes.
'Cause I am in agreeance with Drew, that is my number 3 as well, as Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and you guys pretty much said it all, the look of
Mhm.
Freddy is his most menacing that we've had to date, and the trench coat makes him look big and bulky, and like you said, breaking the fourth wall, and, like, I think what I said to Adrian in our episode was, like, I like the idea that, like, Wes Craven he's making a film while it happens in the real world, like, he's dreaming it up, but then writing it as a script as it happens
Yeah.
in the real world. Like, I thought that was just one of, like, the most clever
Mhm.
ideas, like, that you could ever put to screen, especially for something
Yeah.
like a horror film. I thought that was genius.
Mhm.
Yep. I don't think he gets his flowers enough. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, he just the fact that, like, you see Heather Langenkamp in part 3, right?
Mhm.
She doesn't look near as terrified throughout that movie than she does in this one. And in this one, she looks legitly terrified in it. You feel it. You feel the fear that she's feeling and the fear that her son's feeling and that Wes Craven's is feeling. And even Robert Englund is just kind of like, wow, I mean, it's just weird to see him play both sides of it. And he's just kind of a down to earth type guy. But then when it's Freddy, it's just a totally other being. So, all right. And what's your number 3?
My number 3. You want to know my number 3?
I do.
My number 3 is one both of y'all have already said, Freddy versus Jason.
Okay.
That's my number 3 because, like I said, I could pick that movie up any day of the week.
Yeah.
And I could pop that bad boy in,
Yeah.
and I can enjoy it. Like you don't have to be a horror fan
No.
to appreciate that movie.
Yeah.
Like-
Exactly.
Like it's not. It's let's put our cards on the table.
Yeah.
It's not scary.
No.
It
Not
is.
really.
It is a fun movie. Not ha ha fun. I mean, sometimes it was ha
Yeah.
ha fun, but it's a movie where no matter who you really are, you could sit down
Yeah.
and enjoy it.
And like you said, it's not really a scary movie.
It's not. It's
you
not.
know.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, I think all right, my number 2 is gonna be the original. Part 1 is gonna be my number 2. And for just for coming out, I mean, it was a game changer. It really was. And it just goes to show how great of a writer Wes Craven is. Might not be the best director. He's a good director, but he's just a phenomenal writer. The characters he builds, I just feel like if he got the George Lucas type of money, that he got for, like say Star Wars or, Indiana Jones, stuff like that, I feel like Freddy could have been so much bigger. But that just goes to the fact to show that horror movies were almost as, looked at as almost like pornos back in the day. You know what I mean? People were like, oh, you watch that? Oh, judging you because of, the type of film you like to watch, back in the 80s and things like that. And it's like, you watch horror movies, but it was a game changer. Nobody did anything like that. The films that Wes Craven came out with and the ideas were just bar none. And then coming out with a character like Freddy, who legitimately terrified me when I was a kid. I mean, the It's and the Jasons and the Michael Myers and stuff, that didn't terrify me like Freddy did. That and Hellraiser, but I just don't like Hellraiser just because they're just
And never
it's
been
too
a
much.
favorite.
It's too much, man.
Never been a big Hellraiser fan either.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched most of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And funny enough, I skipped like a good chunk of them, and then I watched like the latest one. I think it was like 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I found it to be decent.
I mean, the
But-
character and it just goes too far, I think,
Yeah.
with the Hellraiser. But with this one, it was original. Johnny Depp's first time on screen, really. Heather Langenkamp, also a nobody, but again, she fell into the same thing Robert Englund did. Both of them cannot really. They're Nancy and Freddy forever.
Yeah,
They'll
100%.
always be that way. Heather Langenkamp, she makes a lot of money doing these, cons now. She still does them, and that's probably where she makes a lot of her income. I mean, I think she married in like a writer or something like that. And probably doing pretty well for herself. And Robert Englund just got a star, but that first one, it was original. And granted, like I was talking about at the end, it was kind of corny at the end. And I think Wes Craven even said that he wanted to take that part out. Just because it was a little too much. They could have ended it right there, at the death scene, and I would have been perfectly happy with it. But, just, iconic bathtub scenes, school, when she's in school and, Tina's in the body bag, in the clear body bag talking to her. I mean, that's all that's nightmare fuel right there.
All right, let's talk about this for a second. David Leroy Anderson is Heather Langenkamp's husband. They have been together since 1990, and he is a special effects artist.
There we go.
Makeup artist. So he's a makeup department. But they have 2 kids together.
Yeah, and they, I mean, did Men in Black and
Let's see.
all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, let's see. All right, go back to it. He is known for Men in Black, Nutty Professor, and Cabin in the Woods.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, that they won't be known for. I mean, luckily Johnny Depp was able to escape that, but most of those actors really didn't do much more than the Nightmare movies.
I do like that Johnny Depp came back for a small role in another Nightmare on Elm Street movie, later on.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, whenever you see him, that's baby Johnny Depp there.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it's baby
Mhm.
Johnny Depp until, you look at the credits, you're like, "Holy crap, that's Johnny Depp."
Yeah.
And then whenever he pops up in, what was it? Was it Freddy's Dead?
Mhm.
Um, you look at him and you're like, "Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
Johnny Depp."
Yep. And you had all the main basics for this movie. You had a final girl. You had the villain, and I think that Freddy's words were something like 50 words the whole entire movie because they wanted to make him more of a silent killer, rather than, kind of sarcastic. But Robert Englund somehow pulled it off to make it funny too, and that's why that's on my number two.
This is where I struggle when we get to our silver and our gold medal here per se, because these top two films that we have left are just like fuck, they're mwah. They're perfect to me for this franchise. And I battle back and forth a lot. One day I think my number one is my number two, and my number two is my number one. You know what? So I think for this round of like rewatching and going through all these films, I think I'm gonna have to agree with Drew and say that the original is in my number two spot for all the reasons that you mentioned. And it's just, we by this point we had Michael, we had Jason, we had Leatherface, and like to come up with like another iconic horror character that stuck and became, I mean, Freddy, I mean, whether you want to say Jason was popular, Michael was popular, whatever, Freddy, once he came on the scene in 1984, Freddy Krueger owned the 80s. He took
Yeah.
over the box office from the Halloween franchise, from the Friday the 13th franchise. Freddy Krueger was number one in the 80s once he hit the scene. So this film was just huge, and you can't give it enough praise and say like this is like a perfect horror movie to put on and anytime when you're alone, when you're with friends, when you're with a
Mhm.
new girlfriend, whatever. Like the original Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic, and I think that's one of the reasons that like the 2010 remake gets such hate, is that this first film is so beloved,
Yeah.
and it's one of my favorite. And I go back and forth between this and what my number one is all the time, of which on day by day of what I like more. But right now, the original Nightmare on Elm Street is in my number two spot, and it hurts to say a little bit because it is a phenomenal film.
Yeah.
It it is absolutely phenomenal. The only thing that I have a critique on it is the initial you see Freddy Krueger for the very first time, and he's got the 10-foot long arms
Yeah.
in the alley. I was
Maybe
like,
use
"That's how you
fishing
want it."
poles to
Yeah,
hold them up.
he's just holding them like that, and,
Still found a way to make it terrifying
yeah,
though.
it was terrifying, don't get me wrong, but I was watching, TV show Psych.
Yeah, I love
I
that show.
I was watching Psych, and there was one episode where they have to infiltrate the Circus Soleil, and, they have to go in and audition as, actor or, like,
Oh, yeah, I
talent,
remember that
and then,
episode.
Gus, he has those same arms,
Yeah.
and he has them. I was like, "Those are Freddy Krueger arms."
Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
But my number 2 is number 1. It's the original, and that also hurts me to say,
Yeah.
um, because it's such a great film, and the only thing I knock about it is really those arms.
Yeah.
And if you brought him up later on in the film, that could have been that was just fine, or maybe
Yeah.
had them grow whenever she, like, tried to go around him,
Mm.
you know? So
Yeah.
he was like he had his arms out, and then she tried to, like, go to the left, and then it just, like, stretched out to the end, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go to the right," and then it stretched out to the end,
Yeah.
and that it's showing you have nowhere to go. Like
Yeah.
I found it comical, and it kinda took me out of it, um, but that was my only critique of the first film. I love the first film. It is such a good movie. It was a movie I haven't seen in so long, and rewatching it, I remember just being just I dove straight into this universe. It was great. The
Mhm.
acting is phenomenal. Wes Craven completely knocked it out of the park. And um, I know it's not the Freddy that anybody remembers
Yeah.
because everybody remembers, sunglasses on the beach Freddy
Hmm.
and flying on a broomstick
And Nintendo Freddy as
and
well.
Nintendo. Yeah, the Power Glove.
I love
Great
that part.
graphic.
I don't care what anybody says.
It
I
is
love that part. He
it
gets
is
some
so great.
power up and
Yeah.
just going in there and just killing the guy. I mean, and then the kill it's one of my favorites. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorites. But I mean, it's a total joke, but it's still hilarious.
So yeah, we all agreements number 1. So
Yeah.
let's do a speed round for number 2. Let's do a speed round for number 1. Drew, what is your number 1?
Part 3.
Connor,
Part 3, Dream
part
Warriors.
3. And for mine is also Dream Warriors.
Was it always your favorite? Let me ask you guys this: from the moment you saw it to say, like, say maybe we're on 4 and 5 already, right? Was that always your favorite one?
Part 3 for me, yes. As soon as I watched it when I was younger, I connected with the Kincaid character being like the smart ass, like thinking he can whoop everyone and things like that. So characters like him and bringing back Heather Langenkamp and getting Lawrence Fishburne in the film, like things like
Yeah,
that.
Max was great.
Yeah.
I
Um,
loved it.
his name was Larry Fishburne. Let's get that straight.
Lawrence.
Well,
No,
in my
Max, yeah.
interview with Kincaid or Ken Sagos himself, he said, "Don't ever call him Larry or you will never hear from him again."
I didn't get that. Now I get that though.
Yeah, so yeah, in the third one in the opening credits, Larry Fishburne.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because me and Kaylin were watching it and she's like, "Larry Fishburne? Lawrence?" Like, yeah, it's less dignified Lawrence.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Um
No, that movie it was so great. The whole storyline, like, they're explaining where Freddy came from, his mom, um, you know, to her actually helping them stop him. And, it was kind of like the most peaceful ending for Freddy in a sense, because, through mom and everything else like that. But just the fact that, Max was able to teach them, to use their gifts separately in a way, well, him and Heather, Langenkamp, Nancy, teaching them how to use their special abilities, even though that, one kid's in a wheelchair, one kid's got temper problems, one, abused kid, a deaf kid, it was just, they all had their weaknesses, but, it became their strengths. And I think that's kind of why I like that movie so much, is because they took, weaknesses and made them strengths to help him defeat Freddy, at least this time.
yeah. And this one was always my favorite whenever I watched it cuz um
First time they really Freddy's got his ass kicked.
this is
You know?
true. Yeah, he got his ass
Reality.
kicked and quite brutally, I will
Yeah.
say. And it was all in all just a great film, start to finish. It kept me engaged the whole time. Had no real dull moments. And then my favorite character, the Wizard Master, Ira Heeden, he came in and he was just being his nerd self.
Mhm.
And I loved that because I always wanted to play D&D. And whenever I was a kid, I was like, okay, so I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I grew up in a small town, and it was a small
Mhm.
country town,
Yeah.
and yeah, D&D was not
Yeah.
where it was at.
Yeah, this was, I mean, part 3 for me, I feel like, of course, we have the cliffhanger ending when, like, the doll, not the dollhouse, but, like, the paper mache house that Kristen was making of Nancy's home, like, the light turns on, so they leave you with, "Oh, is Freddy really dead? Is there gonna be a sequel?" But, like, I feel like if they would have wrapped this up and gave these first 3 films and just ended it with a trilogy, like, this would have been a perfect conclusion. Like, sadly, of course, you get Heather Langenkamp's character of Nancy dying and passing away,
Yeah.
but you get
Mhm.
Freddy being reburied in the ground and like doused with like holy water to like rid the demon per se, like get rid of him and kind of like keep him buried there. And like I feel like all the knots were tied at the end of this film. So, like it left it perfectly, but then of course they leave the open-ended ending or like with the cliffhanger in case the film does well to leave that option open for a sequel.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah,
But all in all,
I
it was
agree. They could have ended it in a trilogy, and it
Mhm.
would have been fine.
Yeah, and her dad's character was he was good too.
Yeah.
You know, hit that I like the fact that her dad was in it and you know, the other psychiatrist guy, you're just kind of, whatever, you know. He'll probably die.
Yeah.
But you know, and then but you know, bringing his mom in, kind of explaining why he's so evil. You know what I mean? Because they, you know, they're like, oh, you know, taken by 100 men, you know, that kind of thing, you know, whatever. But you know, they talked about it, but they actually showed it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Whew.
all in all, I easily Adrian and I spoke on this. We think this is the best cast out of the
Yeah.
entire franchise, and it makes this film easy to be your favorite when you have such a likable cast that
Hmm.
you're rooting for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like, I mean, the 2010 we were just talking about, it had all in all, it had a pretty damn good cast, except for who they chose as their number one spot.
Yeah.
And that definitely brought down the movie, and everybody says the same has the same critique.
Hmm.
She just wasn't in it, and in reality, she wasn't. She was trying to get out of the film,
Yeah.
and she punished all of us for it. And how dare you? I will
Yeah.
say that. Like actors, they go through a process. I get it. They have their own thing, and it's an art and all that. And I don't want to make light of it, but also it is your job and it is your job to deliver a good product. Why don't I don't care if you don't like the script. I don't care that you don't like the project. You give your best self onto everything that you have signed a contract for that you are going to perform for other people because it's not about you at the end of the day. It is about the people who are going to watch this film because you're screwing over not just the film. You're screwing over the production team. You're screwing over the makeup team. You're screwing over the other actors. You're screwing over the director, everybody, because you don't want to play a part that you signed up for.
Hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but cry me a river.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yep.
So before we get
Agree.
out of here, did you guys want to? I did want to say this. Like I know I said that the part three I think had the best characters. I think part one had the absolute best soundtrack out of the franchise. Did you guys have a number one favorite kill out of the franchise before we get out of here?
Sure. I was gonna go originally when I was doing it. I kind of was actually gonna go for what is it? Let me see. Um, when he kills Jennifer with the TV, and then the quote was, "This is it, Jennifer, your big break in TV." Lifts her up and then shoves her head into the TV. And then he said, "Welcome to prime time, B word." But then we were talking about the first one, and Tanya's probably killing on the ceiling was probably my favorite one. But because I mean, it was shot the first one way, way, way back in the early 80s. And to have that type of cinematography was just phenomenal. I mean, they rotated the room just so that she could look like she was crawling on the ceiling. You know, I mean, he was just messing her up, and it was just done. I think the actress, she did it so well as well. You know what I mean? I'm sure she had stunt doubles, but that's got to be my favorite kill in the first one, where she's in the bedroom and she just gets slaughtered.
Mhm. That's a good one. Definitely a good one. Connor, what's your favorite?
I was gonna have you go because I'm sitting here pondering between one or two of them, and like
Mm.
unless, unless you're doing the same thing, I'll jump at it.
No, I got it. My favorite kill, I've stated this many times. It's the motorcycle kill.
Yeah.
It is him. He's turning into Freddy is turning this dude into the motorcycle. He is one with the machine. Yeah, fuel injected. It's just it's all in all, it's just fantastic. It is a great soundtrack. During that, a great track going on, great scoring. The special effects were just phenomenal in that part. And the next thing you know, he's part of the bike, and he just goes up in flames. That's just I thought that was the best kill.
And that's one of the ones I was battling back and forth between. I was battling with that one and Philip from part 3, the Sleepwalker was one I always went back to as
Oh,
well.
with the puppet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
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 was a good one.
those 2 I kind of was battling back and forth, but the special effects with Dan's motorcycle kill have to, like, those have to be praised with him, like you said,
Yeah.
turning, becoming one with the machine or the motorcycle itself. Like that would have to be my favorite one for the special effect. And then I know we talked about the soundtrack that go along with it. You're jamming along as this guy's, getting killed and getting turned into part of the motorcycle. So that would probably have to be my favorite.
Yeah, and, well, speaking of the puppetry, I found out watching this movie, I am a huge fan of claymation.
Yeah.
Like, well, I mean, I always knew that, but whenever I saw that, for some reason, that really amped up that kill for me. Whenever Freddy, he's the doll, and then it turns into him, and then he jumps down, and as a claymation, he does, all the things he does, and that was,
A lot of films weren't doing claymation like that,
no. No,
So
and I mean, they were gonna do claymation for, the T-Rex scene in Jurassic Park,
mhm.
but it was gonna take too long, and they
Yeah.
said apparently that claymation scene looks so much better than what we got, and
Really?
"How can that be better?" Because
Yeah.
that was a phenomenal scene, like, the
Yeah.
special effects in that, like, the CG, I thought was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
100% agree with you. So there are our Nightmare on Elm Street rankings. So would you guys like to plug before I get into what Adrian and I are getting into on our next episode?
Sure.
Go for it, Drew.
All right. Well, you can find me. I'm half of a team of 2 at the post credit podcast. It's usually on other things, but right now it's on Spotify. We're currently not doing anything right at the moment, but we're talking. So there might be something coming up in the future, but we are currently talking right now. But you can catch all our episodes on Spotify right now.
And if I'm not mistaken, Drew, you also have a very, very wonderful, guest on the last 2 episodes.
Huh.
He just had an amazing voice. He had great little bits in there.
I can't
Um,
remember who was that.
I don't know, just some lovable dude.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I haven't been
So
on there, but he must be talking about me.
okay, so time for my plugola. Uh, if you wanna catch me on anything but the last 2 episodes of the Post Credit Podcast, then, you can find me and my wonderful wife, Kaylin, on, the Make Me Believe podcast, now on all platforms, and, it's where I tell I tell some scary stories to my, scary wife, apparently, in the efforts of making her believe in the supernatural.
You should definitely edit that part
Oh, no, I'm gonna keep it.
out.
All right, so thank you to you guys. It was Adrian. It's been a long time coming as we've kept rolling through this Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, but I know that he is more than excited because we are starting the brand new year off of 2026 with the film Predator and continuing through that franchise. So I know he is more than ready to dig into that.
Oh, yeah.
So before we get out of here again, I want to say thanks to Adrian and thanks to Drew because I love having guests. I like hearing your guys' opinions and everything like that. So Drew, you're
Absolutely.
welcome back anytime
I'm
we're
sure
recording.
I will be back. So definitely. Yeah, and by the way, row me a boat.
Oh my goodness, there it is.
All right. So again, Adrian, thank you. Drew, thank you. And to anyone out there listening, thank you as well. And we start the Predator franchise on our next episode with that first classic starring the man himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So until next time.
See ya.